Good afternoon, guys. Um, Hope everybody's had a good Monday so far. I'm sorry for my scratchy and snuffly sounding voice. I did some cleaning yesterday in one of our rooms that had some damage done to it from a limb falling on the house, and there was some mold in there that we had to get down so that we can repaint just regular, fuzzy green mold, not the black kind. But anytime I'm in a room with that kind of stuff, the next day got a headache, coughing, and I sound snuffly. So sorry about that. Um, you know, I came on yesterday morning about the shooting in Baltimore. You know, Friday, before let's start on Friday. On Friday, near the Emory University campus in Atlanta, Georgia, right at the intersection where the CDC is located and the CVS. Um, a gunman opened fire and a DeKalb County officer was shot and killed. I believe that the shooter also was, I'm not sure if the shooter took his own life or if the law enforcement did, but his name was Patrick White. Yeah, so we had that shooting on Friday. Um, and then Saturday night, we have in Baltimore, six people sitting on their front porch having what we call, where I'm from, a crab boil. You kind of have, it's preferable to sit outside to eat it because, you can make a big old mess and then you can just wrap up your table and throw it in the trash can. But crab boil, shrimp boil, um, crawfish boil, and six people were shot, including a 5-year-old little girl, four males, one female, and one 38-year-old male lost his life. And then today, in Austin, Texas, at the Target on Research Boulevard, at 2:15, a gunman opened fire in the parking lot and shot four people. Three of them died. Two of them at the scene, one died later at the hospital, and one was just kind of treated for the injuries there on the scene. The gunman then stole someone's car from Target. When he wrecked that car, he went into a Volkswagen dealership and carjacked another car. He was finally stopped by police and had to be tasered to take him down. Um, and this guy, they haven't released his name yet, but white male, 32 years old. For some reason, people seem to think that the fact he was wearing a Hawaiian T-shirt or a Hawaiian button-up shirt, whatever, is such a defining detail. Yeah, whatever. The bigger detail for me is that he has a past of documented mental illness, which, if you are, if you've been following my channel, you know how I feel about the way that mental illness is handled in the United States. It is one of our largest problems, yet it is the hardest thing to get treatment for here. It's like danged if you do, danged if you don't. If it's hard to get insurance. You finally get the insurance. Okay, well, does it have a high deductible? How much is your out of pocket? Then you have to get referrals to a psychiatrist. Then that psychiatrist might want you to see someone else. It's absolutely nuts. They make it so hard to get treatment for mental illness. But then we have people blabbing on the TV about the mentally ill shooting people. How about all you that are blabbing on the TV about the mentally ill shooting people? Why don't you use your large platform that you have and start doing something to do something about the problem that we have with mental illness? How about that? Instead of sitting on your rear end in your condo. Anyhow, um, but yeah, But like I said, I mean, something has to be done. This is a multi-level thing. I mean, we have guns falling. All right, and here's the thing: you have guns falling into the hands of someone who has a demonstrated, documented mental illness. Gets a gun. We don't know his reasonings for doing what he did, but he did it. 3 people lost their lives. This guy will. What will happen is this guy will be remanded into custody. He will then be tested to see if he's competent to stand trial. If he's not competent to stand trial, then he will get counseling and therapy until he is competent to stand trial. Then he will stand trial. Then he will go to jail for the rest of his life. When the same therapies and treatments that he's going to receive to get him ready to stand trial for his crime, had those been allotted to him in an easier way, without any kind of stigma. Yeah, and I mean, it's like I find it funny that these same people that are yapping about the mental illness on their little YouTube channel, that's, where they have a large platform, and they're sitting up there saying, like me, I had to wait 3 days to get my gun license, and I've never had a charge. Bull crap, dude. You spent 12 years in federal prison. I mean, are you really going to sit up there on your platform and lie like that? Okay, whatever. That's why it took you 3 days to get your gun license. Okay, your gun permit. But yeah, so all of the things to prepare this dude to get ready to go to trial for taking the lives of these 3 people, had he been offered all of this in a fluid manner, easy accessible insurance, um, networks of doctors that don't fight you, which is a huge thing. I mean, I have, a child who has epilepsy, and so he has to have a neurologist, and it is like pulling to. I mean, you have to find, the doctors. Okay, I'm sorry if y'all hear that. That is Snowbird. We gave her, the reason we cleaned up the room in the back was to give Snowbird and her babies their own room. And the babies seem to be, they're loving their big new room. Snowbird, however, does not want to stay back there any longer than she has to, which is really weird. But all right, we got her out and she's okay now. But anyway, um, but yeah, like let's make it where insurance is easier to get instead of, I've seen where a lot of VA benefits have been cut. What in the heck are we doing? We're going the wrong direction is what we're doing. Okay. Easier accessible insurance, easier accessible doctors, and let's start taking stigma off mental illness, because truth being known, I'd say 85 to 95% of the United States has a mental illness, whether you want to admit it or not. That's just part of living in this day and time, people. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, that's a total of, let's see, 4 people were shot today, 6 on Saturday, 2 on Friday. And I'm not going to break down the deaths, because what I'm specifying here is they were shot. Okay, we have a problem, and then we also now have the president of the United States saying, "Look, if the cops can't handle the crime in D.C. because the crime has gotten so bad in D.C., I'll bring the National Guard in." And people want to fault him for that. I don't. If I lived in Washington, D.C., I mean, I'm sorry. There's no. Mm-mm. I've had children who have traveled quite extensively. And even though being in D.C. is like you want to go and you want to see all these things and see the monuments, see the White House, it's one of the scariest places to be. Um, and another thing, I mean, everybody wants to blame the president. No, I'm sorry, people. I don't care what your political affiliation is. I don't. It is not Donald Trump's fault for what other people do. I've not once ever seen Donald Trump stand up on a stage anywhere, live, on TV, on the radio, anything like that, on YouTube, or anywhere else in the interwebs, and tell anybody, hey, y'all, go get guns, shoot each other. Mm-mm, no, 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 no. See, that's the biggest part of our problem here right now in this day and age is nobody wants to take accountability for their actions. See, I'm a Gen Xer. I will be 50 years old in November. I am part of the true FAFO generation. You got a lot of these, millennials that'll try to throw out that FAFO, but they're not going to back it up. My generation will. And like I'm backing up what I'm saying here. Okay. Nobody's not the president of the United States is not telling anybody to do any damn thing. Okay. Um, the ice raids are not meant. He's not racist. Okay. Ice raids are just not good because he doesn't like people from other countries. He's trying to get the crime out. And unfortunately, when you have a lot of people, yes, this is America, home, this is land of the free, home of the brave, right? And you can come into our country and we will welcome you here, but you do have to do it the right way. And when you don't do it the right way, we don't know who you are. We don't know if you have a past. We don't know if you have a criminal background. Unfortunately, the crime has gotten so bad with drugs, human trafficking, and arms trafficking that you kind of just have to go in and you have to get everybody out that's not supposed to be here because the only people that we can verify are citizens. If you're a citizen here and you have a background, you have a record, we know that. We can stop you from buying a gun if you have a violent felony on your record. But when you come in and if you don't do your paperwork the right way, and then, we're coming in, we're trying to get people who we know have criminal histories in other countries, that have murder convictions in other countries, um, that we know are here for the sole purpose of gang related drug trafficking. We want to get those people out. But, I mean, and if you're caught up in that because we don't know exactly who you are and what your past is, I mean, people just have to stop. I mean, we've turned into a country, a bunch of whiny babies blaming this on that and blaming this person for this and that person for that. And that's ridiculous. Okay, I'm sorry. I was raised to where sometimes there are circumstances for every action. And you have to, unfortunately, I mean, the circumstances and the consequences may not be, you might be doing something that may bring you great pleasure, but if you're not doing it the right way, say you're not old enough to be out drinking and you get caught and you get took to jail and your mom and daddy get called, you've got to pay the consequences for that. But see, right now we're in a day and age of, oh no, nobody take accountability for anything. Just blame it on somebody else. It'll be okay. Just blame it on somebody else. No, that's not right. It's not what our country was built on. It's not why that's why we have the Constitution of the United States of America. Um, you know, so, but yeah, I mean, this is just getting ridiculous. I mean, everybody's shooting everybody, you know, we have children getting shot. We have children going missing. We have little Jaden Spicer who disappeared from his bedroom and hasn't been found yet. And if you can hear her, that is Snowbird in the background. She just walks up and down the hall doing that. Um, we had Maddie Soto who was, lost her life, and thank goodness we got, her attacker is in prison now for life. But the main person who should have been protecting her was the one who was sending him to bed. sending her to bed with him. And that was her mother. And she's hiding in a mental institution herself because she knows when she comes, she's afraid that when she comes out, she's going to have charges. She damn better well have charges. Yeah, when she gets out of her little psych ward, because see, here's the thing, she's not crazy. She's scared. There's a difference. You can't use the system. She went into a mental institution to protect herself because she knew. I mean, she sat there and told cops about how she talked to Stephen about how you're not going to leave me for my daughter, are you? I just, this can't be a Woody Allen thing, is it? I mean, you can't do that to me. I can't handle that. So she 100% knew what was going on. And when he got caught, okay. Well, the only thing that can protect you from being arrested is being in a mental institution. If you're in the hospital, they will come to the hospital and they will stand outside your door. But if you're in a mental institution, oh, well, they can't touch you. Oh, she's having a nervous breakdown. No, she's not. She's scared and she knows that she should have charges and that she should spend the rest of her life in prison as well. Okay. But apparently we got a bunch of soft people down in Florida that don't want to go drag her ass out of the mental institution. Checks and balances. I mean, checks and balances, people. That's what our country was built on. And they've gotten so soft and so convoluted. It's a checks and balances, not checks and balances unless this, and this, or this, and this, plus this, and this, or maybe you have to have two of these and one of these below. No, it's checks and balances. I don't know. It's scary. It is scary. So you guys just be safe out there, I mean, I honestly will tell you, I don't do a lot of shopping in big box stores anymore. I will order my items and either have them delivered to my house or I will like do the curb pickup and I will drive by and somebody else will put them in the car and I'll drive away. Most of that for me is for time because I don't have time to, I have children and I have other things that are going on. So it's a lot of times it's time for me. But I mean, a lot of these shootings are happening in parking lots of Walmarts and Targets and CVS's and all that. So, y'all just be safe out there. When you're out and about, just be very aware of your surroundings and to protect ourselves. But just be sure that you're following along with your state's, rules and regulations for that. Some states are open carry, some states are not. You have to have permits. It just depends. Make sure you're following the law, but dang, just be aware of your surroundings, know how to, and if some people don't like guns, some people are intimidated by guns. I understand that. I'm not one of those people. But okay, go take some self-defense classes. There are other ways to defend yourself. Make sure you have your mace. There's a lot of other things you can do. But just yeah. And like I said, just be very aware of your surroundings. Don't just, we've got to stop living in such a hurried world. I feel like that's another problem too. We pull up to a store and, oh, we're in a hurry. So we jump out of our car and we got to run in and you don't look around and like 6 feet in front of you is a man with a rifle. Yeah, man, just like, let's just slow down because it could save your life, because clearly we're not slowing down. And we've got to get all of this, we've got to get, it's got to change here, or I don't know what's going to happen to our country. I really don't. I just know this, that change doesn't happen when people keep their mouths shut. So I've never been one to keep my mouth shut, so y'all don't have to worry about that. All right, guys. But anyway, yeah, y'all just be safe out there, okay? Be safe. And like I said, always say have fun, be safe, and always know that you are loved. And I love you guys. I'll see you later. Bye.